Good evening and welcome to Nationwide on NTA. I am Elizabeth Omori. Today marks 3 days since the demise of late former President Muhammad Buhari, and the third-day prayer for the departed has been held at his residence in Daura, Katsina State. A federal government delegation led by Vice President Kashim Shettima on behalf of President Tinubu and all Nigerians attended the session, along with Governor Babagana Umar Zulum of Borno State, Minister of Information Mohammed Idris, senior government officials and other sympathizers, including former Vice President Atiku Abubakar, former governors, traditional rulers and other dignitaries. Leading the prayers, Chief Host Governor Umaru D. Korada of Katsina State, Vice President Kashim Shettima and former Minister of Communications and Digital Economy Isali Pantami and other religious leaders. They reminded Nigerians of the importance of being transparent and responsible in all dealings, values which the late Buhari embodied during his lifetime. The third prayer is a prophetic tradition in Islam which urges mankind to continuously pray for the dead to make their transition in the hereafter. The late former President Muhammad Buhari died on Sunday in a London hospital and was given a state burial on Tuesday. Meanwhile, sympathizers continue to troop to the residence in Daura to condole with the family of the deceased. Let's now join Abdullahi Mustafa in Daura to tell us more. Share with us the ambience of Daura following the burial of the late former President Muhammadu Buhari. Abdullahi, thank you so much for joining us on Nationwide, and let's have the mood in Daura.
Thank you, Elizabeth. And the mood is still that of mourning. The atmosphere remains gloomy over this great loss, which particularly affects the community of Daura and Katsina State. And as you have read in the first item on the bulletin, prayers were offered at inside the residence, which was attended by Vice President Kashim Shettima on the instruction of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And more people are coming, because gradually from Monday, since we arrived here in the morning, continuously the number of mourners coming to condole with the family is increasing. And even now, the entire Muhammadu Buhari Street, along which his residence is located, there is even no space for any vehicle to park. And even inside the premises, people are just being allowed to go and greet the family, condole with them, and come out so that there will be enough space. And as stated in that story, there are prayers. There is going to be another round of prayers, which is organized by the family and Daura Emirate in honor of the late former President Muhammadu Buhari, which is to take place in the same venue that is inside his residence. And it is still expected to be joined by the Vice President Kashim Shettima, governors who have been hosted by the Katsina State Governor Umaru Duko Radda, and there are more prominent Nigerians arriving at the city of Daura, and some are still in Katsina, others in Kanu, and they have all promised to come back after attending this morning's session of the prayer for the repose of the soul of the late former president, for Allah to grant him Jannatul Firdaus, forgive his shortcomings, and the entire Nigerians the fortitude to bear the loss. Of course, the community is still in a state of mourning, and everywhere in the city you can see it on the faces of members of the community. So, of course, Daura is still mourning. And as it is in all parts of the country, the nation is in a state of mourning. And tomorrow at noon, they are to reconvene Vice President and all dignitaries to pray upon the late former president. And they also, on arrival, what I should also tell you is his remains were laid to rest inside within the premises or courtyard of the residence. And so most of them, on arrival, they go straight to the resting place to pray for him and proceed to the family wing to greet and condole with the family. And this is also still taking place, and I'm sure tomorrow and up to the time the 1 week period of mourning ended. So this is the situation so far in Daura, here in Katsina State.
Abdullahi, thank you so much for your time. We do appreciate the updates. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, residents of Borno State joined millions of Nigerians in mourning the passing of former President Muhammad Buhari. They reflect on his enduring legacies as a leader who served as governor and later president, leaving lasting impacts on the nation. Mohamed Goni reports.
Man of uncommon discipline, led President Buhari's contribution to national development span decades, both as a military officer and a civilian leader. But the people of Borno State, led President Buhari holds a special place in history.
Baba Buhari, I was privileged to work under his government in the then northeastern state. General Buhari lived a life of courage, patriotism, and love for his nation.
In terms of personal uprightness, integrity, and incorruptibility, he belonged to the category of the first generation Nigerians.
His program at that time, the War Against Discipline, which is a reorientation of our society at that time. In fact, at that period, even if you are talking to your child or your spouse or anybody, even within your house, you are just conscious of what you want to say, as if someone is watching me. To that extent, Buhari has instilled discipline in Nigeria.
Late President Buhari will be remembered as an epitome of integrity and symbol of transparency. In Maiduguri, Mohamed Goni, NTA News.
Meanwhile, in Abakaliki, divergent views have trailed the demise of former President Muhammad Buhari, as residents described him as a statesman with the best intentions for the country. Caleb Ogbonna reports.
Having navigated the stormy waters of Nigerian politics both as a military head of state and a civilian president, with what the people described as a lifestyle of dignity, selflessness, discipline, and patriotism.
It's a colossal loss to the country. His Excellency Muhammad Buhari really did a lot. He'll be remembered for good.
He did well for the people of Ebonyi State. As a military man, he did well. As a two-time president, he did well.
The former president Muhammadu Buhari has gone, but the people insist the effects of his administration as both head of state and president are still visible.
He introduced war against indiscipline, and that policy shaped Nigeria.
He had a good policy as it concerns agricultural development. There was agricultural revolution. He had good policies.
No doubt the death of the former President Muhammadu Buhari is a monumental loss to the nation in terms of what he stood for and his contributions to nation building. In Abakaliki, Caleb Ogbonna, NTA News.
In Owerri, residents have described the death of former President Muhammad Buhari, whose legacies of visionary leadership, both in the military and democratic dispensation, will remain evergreen in the annals of the nation's history as a monumental loss to not only the nation, but the entire African continent. They spoke to Loretta Arinzi Egwim. Her report is hereby presented.
Nigeria former President Muhammadu Buhari on July 13, 2023. Some Imo residents reflected on his leadership.
Niger Bridge, you know how strategic it is unto us who are of the southeast extraction. Anyone that contributed in any way at all to the realization of the project, second bridge project, somebody we must commend.
His presidency had a lasting impact on the country, and his legacy continues to shape our nation's trajectory. And I sympathize with the direct family, Nigerians at large, because we've lost a national hero.
It would be recalled that the late former president served as a democratically elected president from 2015 to 2023, having previously ruled the country as a military head of state from January 1984 to August 1985. While the 7 days national mourning is still on, Nigerian flags have continued to be flown at half-mast.
Now, aligning with the mood of the nation, the All Progressives Congress APC in Nasarawa State held a special prayer session for the late former President Muhammad Buhari, eulogizing his legacy of morality in public service. Aliu Tijani reports.
In a solemn moment, the State Working Committee members of the APC in Nasarawa State, party members, Christian and Islamic clerics intercede for the repose of the soul of late former President Muhammadu Buhari. His administration legacy projects in Nasarawa State, which include dualization of Kefi, Akwanga Lafia Makodi Road, construction of power substation, completion of Loco Iweto Bridge, and Federal Secretariat in Lafia, as well as the establishment of Federal College of Education Technical, Kiana, among others, are life-changing infrastructure. APC says the late Nigerian leader will be remembered for by the people in the state.
Buhari came with Nasarawa State on the table and he was made the president. So we can never forget him. We'll continue to pray for him, and as all the ulamas have said, that he himself asks for forgiveness. It is left for you. Allah has already, by the grace of God, forgiven him. So we'll continue to pray for his soul.
With Nasarawa State regarded as his second home, the party acknowledges his virtues of discipline, humility, and incorruptibility, which he brought to bear in politics and governance. In Lafia, Aliu Tijani, NTA News.
You're watching Nationwide on NTA. Let's take a break, after which Nationwide will continue in Lagos with Adeola.
Have you heard the news? The federal government of Nigeria, through its direct benefit transfer program, has started the disbursement of 75,000 naira per household in 3 installments of 25,000, 25,000, 25,000 naira. Each recipient must have a validated national identification number, NIN, to receive the payment on behalf of their household members. To benefit, your household must be in the National Social Register of Poor and Vulnerable Households in Nigeria. The federal government's direct benefit transfer program is helping to reduce the effect of suffering while promoting financial and economic inclusion for the poor and vulnerable population in Nigeria.
My name is Joy Odagi. One man just called me one day, I did my house, so I shocked. I said, my man said, na 419. How they go call me? Say, I register. I say, I register. He said, make I call my mark. Say, make I call collect my, with NIN, make I call collect my.
Thank you for rejoining us. This is Lagos. The inclusion of industry experts in higher education to nurture entrepreneurship, of practical learning dimensions to professional and vocational education has been the central message from various stakeholders. This is to close the existing gap between the jobless and unemployable graduates. Amaka Owo reports.
Data from Statista in 2025 indicates that about 4.8% of Nigeria's population are unemployed, despite the fact that a significant percentage of youths are leveraging the potentials of social media to create jobs for themselves. Meet Ebunoluwa Ayodele, who is a graduate of mass communication and has just completed her compulsory National Youth Service Corps (NYSC), but has become an entrepreneur after she mastered the craft of shoemaking, as she's leveraging the advantages of the digital space in marketing her finished shoes.
Once we get them done, we make sure that they will stand the test of time. You as a customer, you enjoy our product, and we as a producer, we enjoy the integrity that comes with giving you a good product.
Like Ebunoluwa, what systemic steps should be taken to increase the number of young people who should imbibe the entrepreneurship culture?
There are still very many skills still required for different services. So governments to be deliberate and intentional in making sure that the policy trusts targets for youth employment and entrepreneurship.
We need the processing skills. You need
the computer technological skills to process data and to use the data to address challenges in your environment.
For instance, we need to begin to tweak our school curriculum, to ensure that we tailor our training towards things that the society needs.
According to the Lagos State government, about 3.2 million micro and small businesses are operating in Lagos. Boosting these numbers require more young people venturing into production of tangible goods and delivery services. In Lagos, Amaka Owo, NTA News.
With an estimated 500 billion naira lost annually on medical tourism for cardiac surgeries, oncology, fertility treatment, diagnostics, and even routine checkups, as well as growing demand for healthcare at home, professionals in the medical space are convinced that the pendulum of the present situation can be swung to the medical sector's advantage by making it business-oriented, apart from primary humanitarian service. Larry Belay has the details.
Medical practitioners believe there is a slingshot opportunity to solve many challenges in the health sector, from medical tourism, infrastructure, and human capital flight out of the country, by reorientating the sector to have elements of income generation. They argued that seeing healthcare as primarily a humanitarian service cannot sustain the sector, especially with the growing demand from an expanding population like Nigeria. They called for reorientation of medical personnel right from the medical schools to be entrepreneurial in their career path.
Healthcare is different from medicine that was studied in school, medical science. Medical science is the practice that you learn in school, but healthcare is a business, and people need to understand that. And we need to begin to train, develop the capacity of medical doctors, medical practitioners in business.
With the advent of new medical diagnostic and treatment facilities such as smart hospitals, telemedicine, digital health solutions, local pharmaceutical establishments, and medical equipment leasing, opportunities abound to create a hub for medical tourist center in Nigeria.
It's also important that we also tweak the medical curriculum beyond just giving medical knowledge, financials, how do you understand this, and things like that. So I think this is very important. Let's start from the basic, improving the knowledge skills of medical practitioners in business.
If 10% of Nigeria has malaria today, just 10%, it means 23 million people has malaria. And that means 3 times the size of Switzerland, almost twice the size of Belgium. So it's population.
They describe healthcare business as a solution to solve human capital flight, infrastructural deficiency, and local production of pharmaceutical products. In Lagos, Larry Bilayi, NTA News.
And we're done with our bit from Lagos. Elizabeth, it's back to you.
Thank you so much, Adeola. The Nigerian Institute of Public Relations, NIPR, celebrates World Public Relations Day 2025, marking over 6 decades of public relations in Nigeria. NIPR President Dr. Ike Nileku calls on practitioners to reflect on their actions and chart new frontiers for a stronger institute. He emphasizes public relations' role in shaping institutions, transforming societies, and promoting good governance. He urges practitioners to recommit to the profession's ideals with pride and purpose. To electoral participation, as preparations for the forthcoming elections in Anambra State intensify, persons living with disabilities are calling for an all-inclusive approach and strategy that will enable them participate actively during the exercise. Chinyere Fesiokoye reports.
Persons with disabilities, PWDs, say they face a lot of challenges in their efforts to participate effectively in the nation's electoral processes. Some of them state that it is not just about the disability, but also the barrier that exists, as many people are not intentional in including them in scheme of things while planning any event.
Forcing our people to queue in line usually discourage them to come out.
Some of our deaf members are not participating,
And when they are not participating, because there is no sign language interpreter for them to tell them the necessary things to do during voting.
Most times we don't have these special provisions for the elections.
Though they acknowledge that there are a lot of improvements in recent time, as INEC, civil society organizations and some non-governmental organizations are currently championing their cause in different spheres through organization of workshops and seminars on disability inclusion. They add that more needs to be done to achieve all-inclusive election in Nigeria. In Oka, Chinyere Fesi Okoye, NTA News.
Let's now link up with Chinyere in Oka to tell us more about the electoral participation for persons living with disabilities. Chinyere, let's hear from you.
Elizabeth, findings reveal that the current state of electoral participation of persons with disabilities in Anambra State is receiving the needed attention and is something to reckon with, as many of them acknowledge that with the provisions of Section 54(1), subsection 2 of the Electoral Act 2022, they now enjoy a lot of rights and privileges in polling units, and that of priority voting. Even as the ongoing continuous voter registration exercise is taking place in Anambra State, which began on 8th of July, many of them attest that some of their members who went for this exercise were given proper attention. And they say all thanks to various stakeholders and INEC, who had made it possible for them to get the needed treatments. And with disabilities information and right to vote in all nooks and crannies in the state, they say they are very ready and prepared to take their pride of place in the forthcoming election in Anambra State.
All right, Chinyere, thank you so much. And it's good to know that efforts are being made and measures are being put in place to ensure that there is an inclusive participation this time around. Thank you very much for your contribution. Thank you. For more reports on Nationwide, let's join Sadia in Sokoto.
And welcome to Sokoto. In a strategic move towards sustainable development and poverty alleviation, the Sokoto State government has equipped 5,000 small-scale business owners with solar-powered system. This initiative underscores the commitment to fostering economic independence and promoting a cleaner environment. Asma Habibu Shagabi has details.
These are some of the beneficiaries of the economic incentive meant to serve as an alternative way for tapping the available sources of renewable and sustainable energy. They are mainly smallholder business owners drawn from different locations and central market in the state capital, Sokoto. The solar panels and solar-powered generators were distributed free in fulfillment of campaign promises made by Governor Ahmad Aliyu. It is to augment the epileptic power supply, crippling developments of these businesses.
The governor always have the masses at hand. That is why we are here to deliver the messages of the governor for the people of Sokoto State and especially for the upcoming small business owners.
The state government has come up with a program of empowering about 5,000 small-scale and medium business owners. So this is what we are doing, distributing the solar-power generators, which will make them to lighten their shops.
Sokoto State government is strategizing to harness the power sector by leveraging the Electricity Act 2023 that empowers the state governments and private businesses to generate and distribute electricity in Nigeria to fully utilize its already completed 38 megawatts capacity power plant to stimulate economic growth. In Sokoto, Asma Habibu Shagari, NTA News.
Desertification is advancing at an alarming speed across sub-Saharan Africa, including Sokoto State, affecting farmlands, threatening food security and displacing vulnerable communities. Dalhatu Abdullahi reports that the environmental experts are concerned about these growing threats and advocating adoption of urgent steps by reversing the tide to save humanity.
The desert is on the move slowly but steadily eroding the foundations of rural life in Sokoto State and across the Sahel region. Experts say desertification in sub-Saharan Africa is advancing at a pace of up to 2 kilometers each year. Drought and desertification are reducing food production. Sokoto's Sahel belt is exposed particularly in Gudu, Ilela, Godabawa, Sabon Birni, Isa, Tangaza, Silame, and Gada local governments, where fertile lands vanish. The major drivers of land degradation include overgrazing, overcultivation, deforestation, and poor irrigation techniques that cause both salinization and waterlogging.
The only way out is to improve afforestation. Make sure you plant more trees across the affected areas to advance far better than the rate at which desertification is encroaching.
On its part, the Sokoto state government says it is committed to tackling desert encroachment, but community participation is key.
Our state government is doing best effort to combat this issue of drought and desertification. Part of it, even this year, Sokoto is planning to plant at least more than 500 to 1 million trees.
The theme for this year's World Desertification and Drought Day is Restore the Land, Unlock the Opportunities. In Sokoto, Dalhatu Abdullahi, NTA News.
And those are the news updates from Sokoto. It's now back to Elizabeth in Abuja.
Thank you, Sadia. Now to security. The Nigerian Army is leveraging next-generation simulation tactics and strategies to strengthen battlefield readiness. This was emphasized at the Land Forces Simulation Center Training Seminar in Abuja. Defense correspondent Olajide Bailey reports that simulation in urban warfare tactics and strategies, the focus of the seminar.
At the heart of Nigeria's defense modernization, a silent transformation is underway, one part not by bullets but by bytes. Inside this advanced simulation center, Nigerian soldiers are entering battlefields long before their boots ever touch the ground, with this immersive virtual environment allowing troops to rehearse missions with real-time intelligence, AI-driven enemy behavior, and mission-specific scenarios. Training smarter with every decision tracked and analyzed, the seminar simulates insurgent attack, hostage rescues, and joint operations, all about readiness, not reaction.
Simulation training, one of such applications of technology, is an appropriate enabler for preparing Nigerian army personnel for current and future operational challenges.
As a demonstration of his unwavering commitment to our mission, he had earlier approved the procurement of a 2x10 lane virtual firing range, which will soon be installed. And once it is installed, the range will significantly enhance the scope of simulation-based trainings and exercises in the center.
In an age where battles are won before they begin, the Nigerian Army is embracing the future, where technology meets tactics and preparation is power. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
To residency matters, the Nigeria Immigration Service has announced that from August 1, 2025, all applications for the Combined Expatriate Residence Permit and Aliens Card (CEPAC) must be submitted online. A statement by the service indicates that physical CEPAC forms will no longer be accepted after July 31, 2025, as the service moves to enhance transparency and efficiency. Applicants with paid but unsubmitted forms are advised to complete and submit them before the deadline to avoid invalidation. The NIS also urges individuals and companies responsible for expatriates to finalize all pending applications within the time frame. Inquiries should also be directed to the Office of the Public Relations Office at the NIS headquarters, Abuja. In other news, a fresh wave is sweeping across Nigeria's agricultural landscape, and it's arriving in the form of reality television. The AgriVest reality TV show, in partnership with the Niger State government and other stakeholders, is bringing together 37 young Nigerians from all 36 states and the FCT for a 60-day televised challenge. Alika Okmanachiarua reports.
Raising youth restiveness and food insecurity still pressing national concerns, a bold new idea is planting seeds of change. The AgroVest reality TV show is designed to pull young people into agriculture, not just as farmers, but as innovators and entrepreneurs, offering them a platform to grow food, build skills, and change the narrative around agro-business in Nigeria.
These have really raised the interest of our young people. Everybody is proud. In Niger State, everybody is a farmer. I'm a farmer commissioner, is a farmer farmsec, farmer directors, farmer young people, farmer young women. So those are kind of incentives that people really need to key into agriculture.
Organizer says the show is meant to disrupt the outdated stereotypes about farming, showcasing its exciting, high-tech, and profitable side.
The show is slated to kickstart by 15th of September, where we're going to be having these participants come in. So in the next 30 to 60 days, we are going to be done with the audition for the participants themselves, and also camping them in Niger State, where we're going to be having the show take place.
Information is key. Information is knowledge. Nigeria is a massive country, and with a country of such a large population, with such diversity, you need one platform where people can have trustworthy information. That is how I think this AgroVest platform will benefit agribusiness.
With a grand prize of 20 million naira and a range of other support incentives, AgroVest is banking on energy and creativity of Nigerian youths to revitalize this sector, feed the nation, and fuel economic growth. In Abuja, Alika Okpanachi, Arua, NTA News.
Still on agric and food sufficiency, the Agriculture and Rural Management Training Institute, NTA, was established decades ago by the federal government to significantly impact the agricultural development of the country through training, research and consultancy services. Aisha Babaka Yaya in this report examines how the institute has been able to boost the nation's food security since its establishment.
The training center, which is fully funded by the federal government, has trained farmers, including women, youths and even international organizations who have keen interest in agriculture while building their capacity to be self-sufficient and earn a decent living.
In the area of food security, every part of Nigeria has their own comparative advantages, and we need to develop them based on that, not just teaching or educating them on general agriculture. And in the last 3-4 years, NTA has been trying to establish the regional training centers.
Aside from the various agricultural trainings taking place, the institute has also been producing various food items in its farm, such as maize, rice, vegetables, tomatoes, pepper, among others, while poultry and fishery are also not left out. The fertilizers used on the farms are also produced by the institute.
They are able to pick from the area of weed management, so whereby farmer can actually produce freely without spending a penny in controlling the weeds.
And Aisha is standing by at NTA in Kwara State to share more perspectives on how the institute is contributing to the development of the nation's agricultural sector. Aisha, thank you so much for joining us on Nationwide, and to tell us more about the mandate of the institute and its impacts on the nation's agricultural sector.
Hello, thank you. Good afternoon, Elizabeth. The Agricultural and Rural Management Training Institute, NTA, has worked tirelessly since its establishment to promote management practices in the Nigerian's agricultural sector. Aside facilitating consistent best management practices, NTA has also been able to identify and analyze several management challenges, thereby providing targeted interventions to improve overall efficiency and productivity in the agricultural sector. NTA has over the years also played a vital role in advancing Nigeria's agricultural development, strengthening human capacity as well across the sector. With federal government fully funding the institute, NTA has also been able to train several farmers, including international organizations that have interest in agriculture with strong capacity building. NTA has also been able to empower several people to become self-sufficient, economically independent. I can also say that NTA is not limited to training people. and organizations interested. Those organizations interested in agriculture alone, but boast of large farms with varieties of crops planted, as AMTI provided its fertilizers by itself. It is also interesting.
Aisha, this is the much I can take from you.
Which at the end is available for general consumption with easy access. With all these activities,
Aisha, thank you so much. Aisha, this is the much I can take from you. Thank you so much for the comprehensive details. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. In other news, institutionalizing an effective and robust maintenance framework across the NAF engineering units is crucial for minimizing unscheduled downtime. Prudent resource allocation and informed operational planning, as these enable continuous operational presence, project air power effectively, and respond swiftly to meet the demands of national security in all operational environments. Those were the words of the Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, at the Nigerian Air Force Engineering Conference held in Abuja. Defense correspondent Olajide Bello reports.
The Nigerian Air Force operational effectiveness and mission success in contemporary air operations is directly tied to the availability, airworthiness and sustained performance of aircraft platforms. Enhancing the professional and technical competence of NAF aircraft engineering personnel to enhance the effective sustainment of platforms becomes imperative. That is why this branch of the Nigerian Air Force is focusing on enhancing aircraft serviceability through strong maintenance culture and strategic partnerships.
These aircrafts are all high-tech platforms that require very sophisticated maintenance activities to operate effectively. Therefore, while taking proactive logistics actions and providing the needed maintenance resources, we must implement advanced, innovative and data-driven aircraft and armament maintenance practices that ensure the optimal serviceability of all our platforms.
Regarding delivery training and mission-oriented force development, the aircraft engineering branch facilitated the conduct of NAFTRA on 18 platforms across 12 engineering and armament units for effective manning and maintenance.
The outcomes from this conference is expected to enable the NAF to maintain a continuous operational presence, project air power effectively, and respond swiftly to meet the demands of national security in all operational environments. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
Let's take another break. Nationwide will continue with Anwuli Okolo in our Benin Network Center. Stay with us. Thank you for joining us on Nationwide. As Nigeria's tertiary education sector grapples with issues of governance, relevance and reform, one institution, Yakubu Gowon University, is stepping forward with bold steps to reposition itself as a model of renewal and resilience. The acting Vice-Chancellor of Yakubu Gowon University, Professor La Patricia Manko, outlined fresh strategic directions for the institution. At a media parley in Abuja, Professor Manko spoke on the university's renewed mandate shaped by recent transitions, governance shake-up, and the urgent need for institutional integrity. Manko announced a sweeping overhaul of university protocols, promising greater transparency, inclusivity, and academic
we want to stand on
focus.
It must not be a divided community. It can be divided along theories, and you know what happens in Abuja and other communities, academic environments, where debates go along theories or, you know, political niches. That is debate and it's healthy. But when you begin to say be sectional and tribalistic or religious, then you are undermining the integrity of our academia.
Time now to join Aunli in Benin for more news. Aunli.
Elizabeth, you're welcome to Benin. The Special Security Squad Operation Flush Out Kidnappers and Cultists set up by the Edo State government to keep Edo State safe has arrested over 20 persons in its first operation within the city. Our Government House correspondent Goodluck Enaini reports.
The Edo State Special Security Squad against cultism and kidnapping is made up of the military, police, Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, and other sister security agencies. It also includes hunters, vigilante groups, and repentant cultists. They have been given the marching order to sanitize the system, ensuring that armed robbery, kidnapping, cultism, and other social vices are brought under control. The squad has commenced operation combing suspected residential buildings, business premises, and hotels allegedly used for illicit activities, with several arrests made and sealing of some affected properties. Places raided include Isiho, Igosa, Oluku, Ibiwe, Lagos streets, and other alleged notorious hideouts for criminals. In one of the raided hotels, a suspect was arrested for impersonating as an ACP of the Nigerian police.
The arrests we made, the drugs we took, the ammunition we took, and everything we have taken, and we'll particularly make sure it stands.
The reason for the sealing is just to invite the proprietor of that hotel to come to the government house for them to come and explain their own parts.
If you see something, please say something.
Although the exercise has attracted mixed reactions from the public, the state government says it is all about the safety of Edo, and it will stop at nothing in achieving its aims and appeals for the people's support. In Benin, Goodluck Enaini, NTA News.
The present condition of the Asaba-Benin Expressway is deplorable, such that residents and commuters find it difficult to navigate. Helen Dunku felt the pulse of the road users and now reports.
The deplorable condition of the road is taking a toll on the life of residents and commuters who ply the route, being the only road leading to the eastern part of the country through Delta State.
Mine is to use this platform or the medium to draw attention of the federal government in particular to this portion of the road and to bring to bear the economic consequences among so many other consequences. I am aware also that there have been a flag off of refurbishment or rehabilitation of this road by the federal government since March. But I don't believe that we can wait sufficiently for this to come down from Benin to this place. We believe that there is need for quick intervention as far as this portion of the road is concerned.
Decrying the state of the road, residents are of the view that total reconstruction of the road will bring lasting solution as they appeal to the federal government to come to their aid.
Most vehicles with goods find it very difficult to apply that road because the road has actually been very terrible. I think what the government needs to do is to actually try to, number one, expand that road and create a drainage system.
If that road be like that on December, you know, a lot of things will happen there, accident and all that thing. Because a lot of people that are coming down from different places doesn't know that that road is like that, and it will cause a lot of accident.
In Asaba, Helen Dunku, NTA News.
That's it from Benin. Nationwide continues in Abuja with Elizabeth.
Thank you, Aunli. Talking health now, in a landmark move to enhance public health security and environmental protection, the federal government has taken a significant step to launching the national guidelines for chemical event surveillance in Nigeria. Salwa Khalil Ibrahim reports that experts in the health sector have welcomed the document as a proactive measure to safeguard the health of Nigerians amidst increasing risks from chemical-related hazards across the country.
Chemicals play a critical role in various sectors of our economy, including manufacturing, agriculture, mining, healthcare, among others. However, improper handling, storage, transportation and disposal of these chemicals can expose humans to respiratory issues, neurological disorders, reproductive challenges, cancers, and developmental delays in children.
It could be by way of involvement in agriculture, the use of herbicides, the use of pesticides, chemical poisoning is around us. A situation whereby every fever that presents to the hospital is infectious is something that needs to change.
The risks of such events and public safety concerns prompted the need for a structured surveillance response, which prompted the federal government to develop the national guidelines for the chemical event surveillance, aims to provide a comprehensive framework for the detection, reporting, response and mitigation of chemical incidents, adopting a One Health approach.
By fostering research, innovation and continuous improvement, Nigeria can develop a more resilient public health system that effectively addresses emerging chemical threats.
If chemicals management is effective, public health and environmental protection will be enhanced.
Not just writing the guidelines, it is to implement it and make sure it is to the benefit of the country.
According to stakeholders, this document is not just a technical tool, but a call to action. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
Away from health, Plateau State government has condemned recent attacks and killing of innocent citizens in Bindi Jebu community of Riom local government area of Plateau State. Indeyang and the Yagba Gang reports that the state government is also calling on the community to remain calm, vigilant and avoid any form of retaliation.
Residents of Bindi Jebu village in Riom local government area of the state are predominantly farmers and have been enjoying relative peace. However, the peace of the community was shattered Tuesday morning following its attack by gunmen. During the incident, 27 lives, mostly women and children, were lost, while houses and other valuables were destroyed.
We are calling on to the government of the Plateau State, security agencies to do the needful. And I want to stand here to condemn all this ugly happening. At about 10 p.m., there were some sporadic gunshots. They made an attempt, and so the vigilante that were on ground, and also the unit commander that is stationed at SOAP, whom the people actually, commended the effort he made. They resisted the attackers at the first instance. And so at about 3 a.m. of this morning, the attackers regrouped themselves and came.
It is very sad and unfortunate that up to today, these things have not come to an end.
This attack has happened in so many communities in this local government.
The terrain is so porous.
In a statement, Plateau State government sympathizes with families of victims and directed security agencies to intensify surveillance, arrest perpetrators, and bring them to book. Indeyang and the Abuja, NTA News.
Next is sports update.
Sports enthusiasts have called on the Falcons to sharpen their focus, replicate their past victories and elevate their performance.
I believe the girls they are going to do it. You understand? You're having the likes of Ajibade, having the likes of Oshuala, and this other girl that scored a goal. I believe we can go to extent.
Meanwhile, Nigeria's under-19 women's basketball team has progressed to the round of 16 in the ongoing FIBA under-19 Women's Basketball World Cup, despite suffering a loss to Portugal in their final Group B match on Tuesday. The team aimed to recover from a significant loss to Canada, but was defeated 79-61 by Portugal. Having completed the group stage, Nigeria will now focus on the knockout rounds, where they will compete against Hungary, a team from Group A in the round of 16. Elsewhere, about 20 African nations are anticipated to participate in Nigeria for the 14th African Arm Wrestling Championship and the 7th Para Arm Wrestling Premiership, set to be held at the Indoor Sports Hall of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja. The Nigeria Arm Wrestling Federation has confirmed that all arrangements are in place for a successful event.
Arm wrestling is one of the key sports going to be in the All African Games in 2027 in Egypt. So, and we want to use this championship to get new athletes.
And finally, in tennis, British player Tara Moore has received a 4-year ban for a doping violation despite being cleared by an independent tribunal 18 months ago. Moore, who was the highest-ranked women's doubles player in Britain, was provisionally suspended in May 2022 after testing positive for nandrolone and bodonon at a tournament in Colombia. With sports updates, Ijoma Pitawante, NTA News. Indeed, he will sorely be missed. Lead by example and leave legacies. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Good evening.